Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are here to review week number 2 in the virtual 2007 season. To start off with the Falcons and the Jaguars. To start off with scoring for the Falcons, they got a work done 1 yard run on 11 play 99-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock. Now the Jaguars start the second quarter with a Josh Scobee 23-yard field goal. Well, that also took 4 minutes off the clock, but Atlanta kills enough time to leave 11 seconds left on the clock with a Billy Cundiff 23-yard field goal. And Billy Cundiff becomes the hero to put the dagger in the heart of Jaguars fans in Jacksonville Municipal Stadium for a 38-yard field goal as the Falcons win 13-3. But Jacksonville at least moved the ball along more than they did against the Titans the previous week. 235 yards, but honestly, when you get sacked 3 times still, you don't force any defensive turnovers, you don't get any interceptions. Kind of hard to win when you're not forcing any turnovers. I mean, they did lose a fumble, but so did the Falcons, so just forcing 1 turnover the entire game and not having time of possession can really hurt you. As you look here, Michael Vick did get hurt sometime in the game because Kerry Collins played. And David Garrard, he tried his best, but, no touchdowns, but no interceptions either. Work done there with the only touchdown of the game. And Maurice Jones-Drew with 14 carries for 52 yards, and Greg Jones, for some reason, has 16 carries. We're probably going to have to fix that depth chart. But David Carr did have 2 fumbles of the day. Okay. But next, on to the Bills and the Steelers, in which the Steelers, as you can see, won 21-3. And it starts with a Ben Roethlisberger 27-yard pass to Nate Washington, taking a full 97 seconds off the clock. Then Lindell kicks a 44-yard field goal for the Bills in a drive that took nearly 6 minutes off the clock. And that was the only score for Buffalo in Heinz Field. Then Willie Parker gets a 4-yard run. Then Willie Parker then gets another touchdown in the third quarter from Ben Roethlisberger from 13 yards out. And that was the last score, but honestly, with Pittsburgh's defense always being good, holding Buffalo to 159 yards, 7 first downs, 5 for 15 on third down, 81 rushing yards, only 78 passing yards, and getting 4 sacks with a pick. Yeah, that Pittsburgh defense is going to be vaunted. It's going to be threatening for years to come. And sure, Big Ben only threw for 204 yards, but, when you're able to score 3 touchdowns still, it's worth it, Bengals and Browns rivalry game. As you can see, the Bengals just absolutely manhandled the Brownies. First, we got Rudy Johnson with a 2-yard run in a drive that opened up the game that took 6 minutes and 44 seconds off the clock. That is definitely how you kill time in a game. You kill a lot of clock and you score. Whether it be a touchdown or a field goal, especially first drive of the game, you have to kill clock and try to score. That way you get momentum, you keep the other team from scoring, and later on, second quarter, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, 27-yard pass from Carson Palmer on a drive that took a nice 69 seconds. But then Cleveland kicked a field goal from Phil Dawson for 43 yards out. But then Holt gets a 1-yard pass from Palmer. But then Rudy Johnson scores another touchdown run, this time 36 yards out. Then Shane Graham with a 46-yard field goal. Third quarter, you get hit Chapman with an 18-yard reception from Carson Palmer for a touchdown on a drive that took 4 minutes. And Cleveland took a 5-minute drive, 14 plays, 69 yards. Brady Quinn with his first career touchdown pass to Dinkins from 2 yards out. And that's it. Browns converted 28% of their third downs. That is something that you definitely do not need to be doing if you're trying to win in the NFL. But the Browns did get over 100 rushing yards. Bengals almost could have gotten 200 in all honesty. You know. Bengals also got a couple of sacks. No picks for either team though. Both lost a fumble. But that time of possession. Time of possession is the biggest key to winning these games. And Rudy Johnson, 39 attempts for 169 yards. That's the way to win a game right there. Antonio Chapman caught a touchdown pass, and yeah, Glenn Holt caught a touchdown pass as well. And so did TJ Houshmandzadeh, but apparently it's not showing up on here. Well, TJ Houshmandzadeh isn't showing up on that screen, even though right there, 27-yard pass reception from him. We're going to look a little bit closer. Yeah, that's definitely Cleveland right now, time for plan B. Yeah, that's weird. Oh. Yeah, that is weird right there. But yeah, Darnell Dinkins, the first person to catch a touchdown pass from Brady Quinn. And now here, the New York Giants, who in real life just fired their head coach Brian Daboll the day I'm recording this, up against the Green Bay Packers. And as you can see, they went into a fourth quarter and kept the lead this time, having 20 points. First, we start off with Jeremy Shockey getting the 1-yard touchdown pass from Eli Manning. And then later on in the first quarter, Jeremy Shockey connects with Eli Manning again. Then Green Bay responds with Brett Favre delivering a touchdown pass to Donald Driver. Lawrence Tynes kicks 2 field goals, one from 33 yards out, then one from 45 yards out. Then Rayner kicks a field goal in the fourth quarter from 39 yards out. But that will be all the scoring from Green Bay, as they got 142 yards of total offense. And went 4 of 17 on third down. They didn't even try for a fourth down. Giants were at least bold going for it twice, you know. It's kind of crazy to see. And a pick from Brett Favre. Yeah, that's par on for the course. 9 for 28, though. Bit more balanced game for Green Bay, though. I mean, 9-28, 52 yards. I mean, ugh. That ain't gonna win you any games, Green Bay. And you know, if Brett Favre has one more bad game, rumors might be they start that young upstart Aaron Rodgers. He's chomping at the bit back there. Now, this is the closest game of the week between the Texans and the Panthers. A game I didn't expect for it to be the closest, but it's the NFL. We start off, though, with Brad Hoover getting a 2-yard touchdown run. But then you have Brown kick a field goal from 31 yards out. Then Brown kicks another field goal in the second quarter from 36 yards out to make it 6-10. And then Brown kicks one last field goal from 30 yards out to take the lead 9-7. But then John Casey kicks a 35-yard field goal, and Houston's offense, which was able to muster up 257 yards and 21 first downs. The problem, though, here for Houston is they didn't convert in the red zone. They didn't get touchdowns in the red zone. They got 2 field goals out of it. And honestly, like, if you're going to win games, you need to convert touchdowns in the red zone. Field goals can only do so much, you know. Also doesn't help that Your quarterback threw 2 picks as well. Yeah. Oh, Matt Schaub must have gotten injured early on in the game. Sage Rosenfeld comes in, and he throws those 2 picks. Matt Schaub stayed in the game, able to throw to Andre Johnson, who knows what would have happened. I mean, Jake Delhomme, David Carr, kind of similar numbers, although David Carr did have 45 more passing yards. So, I mean, that one's an either-or situation right there, you know. But yeah, Andre Johnson, 7 receptions for 40 yards. I mean, who would have known how much more yardage he could have had if Matt Schaub was still back there. Colts Titans, I won that one big. On to the Saints Buccaneers, in which the Saints win 23-6, with Juice McAllister getting a 1-yard touchdown run. Then Mare kicks a 36-yard field goal. I'm not sure how to fully pronounce his last name though. Well, his first name, I think it's Olivier. I don't know, it's like Olindo Mare. Okay. Yeah, I know it's like some weird first name. But then again, he's a kicker. You know, sometimes kickers have those special names, like Sebastian Janikowski. You know. But yeah, Olindo Mare, 36 yards out. Then Deuce McAllister with a 3-yard touchdown run. Then Olindo with a 25-yard field goal in the third quarter. And then Matt Bryant finally puts the Buccaneers on the board so they're not shut out. Kicks a 20-yard field goal. Although kind of questionable why you would make that decision when at the time you were down by 20. You know. And then Olindo Mare kicks a 22-yard field goal, and then Matt Bryant kicks one last field goal from 27 yards out, and that's the game, you know. Buccaneers just couldn't convert on 4th down, and just like with the Texans, you get to the red zone, you have to convert. You know, simple as that. Now, your defense got you 2 picks. 2 picks. And the thing is, Drew Brees has yet to throw a single touchdown pass this season. But you let Deuce McAllister run all over you. You know, 38 attempts for 137 yards for 2 touchdowns. Like there has to be questions over in Tampa Bay about their defense, because, you know, we'll go and look at week 3 for the Buccaneers. You know, 88 overall defense, like, and you're allowing 6 points. You only get 6 points while allowing the Saints offense that's also an 88 to score 28 on you. Well, 23 on you. You know? But 49ers Rams, another very close game right here. And people thought that Trent Dilfer would be doing well, especially since the 49ers, before this week started, talked with the Tennessee Titans, and they got Kellen Winslow for Delaney Walker. And Jackson gets a 13-yard touchdown pass from Trent Dilfer, who was the hero last week against Arizona, coming in for a mildly concussed Alex Smith. Then you had Amari Battle get a 29-yard pass from Trent Dilfer. And then Kellen Winslow comes into play now. Now able to score his first touchdown in a 49er uniform with a 1-yard touchdown pass from Trent Dilfer. All 49ers for the first half. But then, St. Louis makes some adjustments. They were able to find what they were able to do. Torrey Holt to Mark Bolger, 3-yard touchdown pass. Then Nedney kicked a 50-yard field goal, and those would be the last points San Francisco gets. And this is why some teams win, some teams lose, is those halftime adjustments. Torrey Holt, again for Mark Bolger, 24 yards out. Then Wilkins, 55-yard field goal. Torrey Holt with then his third touchdown pass from Mark Bulger. And then Jeff Wilkins with the game-winning 24-yard field goal to go through to keep the game from going into overtime. And the thing is, 49ers, 300 yards of offense, but the problem was they only got to the red zone once. And that's the thing, thing is, so they got 3 picks. That's the thing, but they lost 3 fumbles. That's what killed them, was fumbling the football. Yeah, Frank Gore got 35 attempts on 147 yards, but you don't block for him, he's not going to really do anything. And Joe Nedney, Jeff Wilkins had themselves a little bit of a battle here today. And Jeff Wilkins apparently missed a kick, so boy, getting in real close there. The Cowboys and the Dolphins pull off what a lot of people are going to call a surprising victory against Dallas. Because first they started off real well. Chambers with a 15-yard reception from Dante Culpepper in the first quarter. Then Culpepper strikes again to Campbell from 28 yards out on a 7-play, 93-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock. Then Jay Feely with a 25-yard field goal. Now, Dallas made some halftime adjustments, able to get Martin Gramatica to kick a 20-yard field goal, although after an 89-yard drive that took 12 plays to get you all the way down there, a touchdown would have really been sufficient, especially looking now in hindsight. I mean, yeah, sure, 4 extra points, but, that could have made the last bit of the game a bit more interesting. Then Jay Feely kicks 2 more field goals, one from 20 yards out, then one from 24 yards out. And those would be the last points the Dolphins would see. And Dallas really went into trying to force overtime mode here or get the win here, because Tony Romo waits until under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter to strike Miles Austin for a 38-yard touchdown pass. And then he hits Tony Glenn after they recover. Well, actually, by the looks of it, they must have kicked off and gotten a pick. Real good in the red zone. Because 20-yard touchdown pass to Romo, just literally a few seconds later. But too little too late, You gotta execute all 4 quarters, Plus that red zone drive as well. That's what probably killed him, And their defense forced 3 turnovers, too. And that's the crazy thing. Your defense forces 3 turnovers, yet you can't capitalize. That's something that they need to focus on for next week. NFC North matchup between the Vikings and Lions. Yet another close game. This time we start off with Hansen kicking a field goal in the first quarter, 36 yards out. Then we have Ryan Longwell kicking a 52-yard field goal. Then we have Bollinger throwing a 27-yard touchdown pass to McMullen to put Minnesota up 10-3 at halftime. After the third quarter, teams traded field goals between Hansen and Longwell. And then Longwell kicks 1 more field goal to go up by 10. And John Kidna throws to Furry for a 5-yard touchdown pass. But, yeah, neither team, by looks like, could really get going offensively. And Detroit late in the game, going for it on 4th down that many times and not converting. That's what really killed them. Also the whole red zone thing as well. And boy, those 2 teams were pretty even on the rushing side of things. 4 sacks right there. Yeah, I've lost 3 fumbles, so Yeah, Brooks Bollinger came in for Tim Rattay, but Tim Rattay, from what I've seen, is probably going to be back in next week, so. Yeah, Billy McMullen got the only touchdown of the game for Minnesota, while again John Kidna threw a touchdown, but oh no, Mike Fury's all the way down there. Seahawks and Cardinals was a closer affair than maybe Seattle would have wanted, but it started with Kurt Warner getting a 38-yard touchdown pass to Larry Fitzgerald. Then Deion Branch catches a 25-yard pass from Matt Hasselbeck. Then Brad Ingram, I want to say, caught the pass from Matt Hasselbeck. Let me just double check on this. Bobby Ingram. Yeah, we know it ain't Evan Ingram. He ain't in the league just yet. But Neil Rackers kicks a 33-yard field goal. Then he kicks a 37-yard field goal. Then Max Strong just kind of seals the game up in the third quarter for Seattle, in which they keep Arizona under 300 yards. And, you know, Kurt Warner, some people are questioning, does he not have it anymore? I mean, 12 for 26, 152 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Some people might be thinking it might be Matt Leinart's time to shine. We'll find out next week. Chiefs and Bears, this looks more like a scoreline more from like 2024 instead of 2007. Only except we got Trent Green under quarterback for Kansas City, not Patrick Mahomes. But it starts with a Medlock 42-yard field goal. Then Rex Grossman throws to Berrien for a 17-yard touchdown pass. Then Jeff Green throws it to Dunn for 4 yards out. Now, they missed the extra point. It was in Soldier Field. It says Chicago Stadium, but we all know it's Soldier Field. So that win must have affected the kick. Then Larry Johnson gets a 1-yard touchdown run. Was a successful 2-point conversion. But then McGraw sacks Brian Gracie in the end zone for a safety. Then Eric Kennison catches a 59-yard touchdown pass from Trent Green. And that was all the scoring that Kansas City needed, because after that, that killed any possible momentum for Chicago. 418 yards of offense, 22 first downs, over 50% on third down conversions. Even converted a fourth down and the 2-point conversion. Got 2 touchdowns in the red zone, 172 yards of rushing. And that's all you really needed. They got 5 sacks as well, including that safety. Highly efficient on the penalty side of things, only getting 5 penalties compared to Chicago's 11. So, yeah, you know. Yeah, Jason Dunn, Eddie Kennison, able to be good old playmakers for Trent Green. Even though, for some reason, he's upset. You know, I don't know why Trent Green's upset. I mean, he's on a team that's 2-0, and I think also leading the AFC West standings, too. Now, they're tied at the top with the Broncos. So, you're on a currently playoff-bound team. Why are you upset? But Ravens and Jets, I mean, this turned into more of like a 2025 game than a 2007 game, with how badly the Ravens battered the Jets. Making sure that the name Jets isn't just the team name, it's the acronym for Just End the Season. But Steve McNair connects with Clayton for a 56-yard touchdown, then connects with Williams for a 2-yard touchdown. But the Jets score with a 4-yard run by Baker. Steve McNair, Derek Mason, Tennessee, Baltimore. Whether you're in a Titans uniform or a Ravens uniform, that connection was always killer. 21 yards out. Now, if only that was the connection to have us win the Super Bowl instead of throwing it to Eddie Dyson. I'm throwing it to Dyson for him to be tackled 1 yard short, but yeah, that's in the past. Mike Nugent, the recently re-signed kicker for the Jets, paying off with a 27-yard field goal. Then Jericho Cottrey catches a 10-yard pass from Chad Pennington, and they make the bold decision to go for two, to be only down a field goal, which is bold, also highly questionable, but very bold because they made it. Now, granted, on the ensuing kickoff, that went for a touchback because, of course, kicks go for the touchback. Willis McGahee then just explodes for an 80-yard run, making that 2-point conversion null and void, basically. And then Landry with a 78-yard pick six, and then Matt Stover with a 37-yard field goal. And even though Baltimore's defense allowed 300 yards, they got a pick. And they also, they didn't force a fumble either. They lost 2 fumbles. They lost time of possession, but they won the game because they were able to take better opportunities. Look at that. Steve McNair, 305 yards. Probably hadn't had a day like that since the early 2000s. And Leon Washington, though, he tried to put the team on his back. 35 attempts, 146 yards. But Willis McGahee just decided to have Baltimore hop on his back as well for 193 yards. If Baltimore has more days like those, they're going to win the AFC North. Raiders and Broncos. A Raiders team that is slowly depleting themselves by the week. Because let's look at their rating here. 81, 82, 92. They're not fully terrible, but it kind of makes it seem like they're trying to tank. I don't know why they're trying to tank. Maybe build around DeMarcus Russell. Maybe they see something in him. The next best quarterback in the league. But we'll find out more later on throughout the year. Because the Broncos start off with a Travis Henry 4-yard run for a touchdown. Then Jake Elam kicks a 39-yard field goal. Then nothing happens in the second quarter. Third quarter, second verse, same as the first. Travis Henry, touchdown run, this time from 10 yards out. Then Jake Elam kicks a field goal from 40 yards out. So Denver's up 20-0 after the first 3 quarters. Then DeMarcus Russell throws to Ronald Curry for a 46-yard touchdown pass. Jake Elam kicks one more field goal to make it 23-7. Then Lamonte Jordan catches a 4-yard pass from DeMarcus Russell that essentially ends the game. And DeMarcus Russell, this was his first career start too, so Denver was able to get 6 sacks and 2 picks off of him. But 14 for 25, 226 yards, and 3 attempts for 10 yards running as well. Not a bad day in the office for your first career start, Just needed to perform a little bit better. Sunday Night Football between the Chargers and the Patriots. Patriots with a surprising loss to the Jets last week. LaDainian Tomlinson proves why he was the MVP the previous season with a 5-yard touchdown run. Steven Gostkowski kicks a 43-yard field goal, followed by Lawrence Maroney then deciding to have a bit of fun of his own, getting a 5-yard touchdown run, and then a 2-yard touchdown run, with Nate Kading kicking a 39-yard field goal to make the score 17-7 heading into the half. 17-10 heading into the half, my bad. Nothing happens in the third quarter. Then Lawrence Maroney gets a 1-yard touchdown run on a drive that took 16 plays and 80 yards. San Francisco kicks a field goal, was Nate Gainey from 31 yards out. But then at the end of the game, Davis catches a 34-yard touchdown pass from Phillip Rivers, gets a 2-point conversion, but with 18 seconds left, they charged with the onside, didn't recover it, and New England wins. Yeah, the story of this one was just nothing happening in the third quarter. If San Diego could have done something in that third quarter, maybe also if their offensive line wasn't a turnstile. Wait a minute, am I talking about the 2007 Chargers, 2025 Chargers? And if Phillip Rivers didn't throw 3 picks, we could have had a different ball game though, because Tom Brady apparently got injured at some point in the game. They had to rely on Matt Castle for a little bit. It explains why Lawrence Maroney got 32 carries. I don't blame you for not wanting to trust Matt Castle at this time. Craig Davis caught his first career touchdown pass, too. That's one of the news headlines I remember seeing in the game's newspapers. I'd go through that, but it takes too long for all that to load, so. And the Monday Night Football game here between the Redskins and the Eagles. We got Steve Sushin with a 27. It is Steve, right? I don't know. I see. That's my first thought of Steve. So let's see. Sean Sushin kicks a 27-yard field goal to open up the scoring for Washington at the link. But then Charlie Buckhalter and what's going to be his last week of starting for the Eagles gets a 2-yard touchdown run. Then David Akers kicks a 50-yard field goal in the second quarter to give Philly a 10-3 lead. Then Griffith gets a 3-yard run. David Akers kicks a 26-yard field goal to go up 20-3. Then Mark Brunell passes it to Santana Moss for a 13-yard touchdown, but 3 minutes left. Clock runs out. Philly wins in Monday Night Football. And yeah, allowing 5 sacks on an old quarterback, and not something you really want to have happen. And that's it for the Week 2 review. And I will see you all next time.